Hi guys, welcome back to my wait, I feel like it's a really bad glare. Is that gonna annoy people the whole time? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, hello. My name is 𝚒𝚗𝚜𝚒, and if you're not new here, welcome back. Before we start with the wrap up, I want to say thank you guys so much. My last video, what was my last video? Reading a page for every time I pick up my phone, I think it was, but I received a lot of love on that video and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I feel like that's one of my longest videos I've ever done. My content has definitely changed to book content. If you happen to look at my old videos, just don't. They're like very chaotic, cringe. It's a no-go, but I feel like I can never delete them because it was just like a person, it was literally me growing. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this, but welcome to my November wrap up. That is it's almost 2024. Who allowed this? I literally turn 23 next year. Ew. The amount of books that I've been reading has like gone lower and like dwindled down because I do a lot of it for, you know, reading on here or like content or whatever it is, but I obviously take the time to enjoy all of the books. So last month I believe I read 12 books. I don't remember, but for the month of November I read about 7 books. I feel like that's normal. I used to be the person, and if you, I don't know what video it was, but I literally read 20. Was it 20 plus books? Or am I lying? It had to be over 20. I don't remember. There was one month where I read that many books and I was like, how the hell did I do that? But I will tell you how. If you don't know, I mentioned this a lot in my previous videos. I read a lot of books on my phone. A lot of them. Like my whole books. It's definitely, if you read on your phone, it's significantly much cheaper, obviously. Or you just, you know, you can't get the books right now, and that's me right now. So buying books and just reading them on my phone is definitely much cheaper. But when I have the opportunity to get books, as you can see over here, I get them. But I feel like that's how I read a lot of books that one month, because I did read on my phone, and I feel like when you read on an ebook, it goes so much faster, literally so much faster. But when you're reading in like a physical book, it's like, why? I just read like 1 page and it's been like 30 minutes. Okay, for the month of November I read 7 books, 4 ebooks and 3 physical books. Let's just go into the physical books first. But for warning, I do say I love this book, or I loved this book a lot. I feel like I've said that in my past videos. I'll say that for any book. I love this book. But it's literally me. Who else is like the easiest 5-star like person? Like giving 5 stars is so easy. If I love something in a book, 5 stars. If I love this in a book, 5 stars. I couldn't tell you how many I gave 5 stars this year. Probably a lot. The point is, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. And I hope you are thankful for a lot of things, even if it's for yourself, because you should be thankful for yourself. Let me stop. Let's start with the first book. Let's start with the physical books. I feel like I'm repeating so many times. I'm so sorry if I am. I'm the type of person that I have to like, I'm already thinking like about the next sentence and I just need to calm down. The first book that I read was The Chase by Elle Kennedy. If you haven't read the Off-Campus series by her, I feel like it is such a good way to introduce yourself to hockey romances. I feel like that's how I started when I wanted to read like hockey romances. I started with the Off-Campus series by her and I loved it, and then I saw there was a Briar U series and I was like, you know, I have to read that too because it's like in the same world universe but like different characters. This is The Chase and it's the first book in the Briar U series. This one, if you haven't read, oh my god, I forgot which book he's in, but Dean, this book is Dean's sister, and I absolutely loved Summer and Colin in this book. Okay, literally loved them. I don't want to say why I read this book, but I think I needed to read like a palate cleanser, and then I immediately chose this book for a palate cleanser. So I think that's why I started this book, and I kept telling myself that I wanted to read this. Even though I said I have books to read, I will put books that I really wanted to read aside and then just like add random books. Like where are my thoughts? I'm the type of well, I don't want to say I'm the type of person, but I really pay attention to a lot of mainstream books. If you feel like you are behind in that, it's okay. Everybody takes their time. Not everybody finds the same books at the same time. So don't worry if you're not finding, you know, a lot of mainstream books and you can't, you know, relate to other people because your tastes are different. Anyway, this is Dean's sister's book, Summer, and then Colin Fitzgerald, and they are complete opposites. I'm not professional. I'm so sorry. I gave The Chase 4 stars. It was such a good book to read for like a palate cleanser. Also, I remember saying that I wanted to start the Briar U's series because L. Kennedy is already starting the kids generation of like the off-campus like kids, and I was like, oh, I gotta get through the Briar U series so I can read. I believe it's called The Graham Effect. If you have read that, let me know if you loved it or not. And then she also posted the family trees, and then she posted the family tree of Colin and Summer. Colin and Summer, what were y'all doing? I saw the family tree of Colin and Summer. Yo, they got a whole bus. Once again, I gave this book 4 stars. It was so fun. I always love a good college setting. I feel like it's so fun. It's literally the best because it's just like, it's just something about it. The one thing I would say about this book is I needed Colin to fight a little bit harder for Summer, okay? A little bit harder. I feel like at times, I guess that's why I say this, but I feel like at times they were both confusing to each other. And I feel like they could have been like better at communicating, but I completely understand that because when I'm talking about my feelings, I immediately shut down. So I related to Colin a lot in this book because talking about feelings for him is just like, it's not great. But no, 4 stars. Love this book. If you're looking for a palate cleanser, immediately pick this book up. The next book that I read for the month of November was, and this was one of my biggest anticipated reads, you guys. I was so excited for this book, you have no idea, but it's Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. It's talking to me right now. Make the 3rd book immediately. The first thing that I want to bring up is the amount of like misprints and how the print, if you haven't been on TikTok, they're everywhere, okay? The amount of misprints that people were missing, or they had the wrong like the spine was wrong. Instead of Iron Flame, it said 4th Wing. That was wrong. That the maps were like not good, or they were missing chapters or specific pages. I feel like I got a good copy, but the only thing with mine is, but on chapter 17, which I literally checked mine every single time I would see a video if something was wrong with them or when people found something. I don't have a dragon on chapter 17, but if you see like when you're reading, I don't know if you can see that, how it has a dragon there. For my book, chapter 17 does not have a dragon. And then on the copyright page, there's like a little, just a typo. Yeah, on the copyright page, it says like names, but it's like N and then a space and then AMES. Besides that, you guys, this book, it broke my heart. It literally, like, I'm not gonna say any spoilers. The ending of this, I just need the 3rd book immediately. Ever since I read it, I've been like, my mind, whatever happened at the ending of this, I've been acting the Lulu, okay? I pretend that it did not happen, but I still continue and read the last two you guys, will I still continue to read the last 2 chapters of this book? Yes I will. I gave Iron Flame 4 stars. I definitely loved 4th Wing. I feel like it was just such a good book. The first book is it was amazing. I loved it. Every single part, chapter, second, every moment that I was reading, I loved it. I loved this one too. I'm not acting like 4 stars is bad. That's good too, but I felt like there was so much information in this book. And also one thing about, you know, the whole like font on this book, it was like so small, you guys. So I felt like I was reading for 30 minutes and made it only to 2 pages, you know. But I also feel like Xaden, I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but I feel like Xaden and Violet, every time I saw this on TikTok, and I completely agree, I feel like Xaden and Violet were just like fighting in this book for literally no reason. You know, have a simple communication. But I get it, because this book is like I believe it's 5 book. That was one thing. And then I also felt like, because in 4th Wing, Xaden at the end, you know, graduates, and then in Iron Flame, you know, he's off somewhere. I feel like he was like off somewhere else. I mean, yes, he's involved 100% in Iron Flame. He's not gone. So if you're reading this and haven't read it, he's in the book a lot, okay, girl? But I felt like he was like gone, and I miss Xaden. But I understand, because there's a lot of other things to read, and like it was like a lot, you guys, like literally a lot. I had to make sure that I was paying attention, because I wanted to know what happens in the next sentence. But no, everything was perfect. That ending was just foul, Miss Rebecca. On to the next book. The next book I am so excited to talk about, you guys, is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. As somebody who said, oh my god, I will never start a fantasy book because it's not for me and it's just like too much, and I wouldn't like it because it's just not my thing. girl, I literally told myself to just be quiet and just get into it. Anyway, I gave A Court of Mist and Fury 5 stars. I feel like if you are trying to get into fantasy, because when I wanted to get into fantasy, this was the first series that I saw. I know there's a lot of other amazing fantasy books out there, it's just not this, but this was the most popular one that I was seeing, and I was just like, you know what, I'm feeling the FOMO, let me just read this too. But if you have any other fantasy recs, please let me know. I always, especially now, I want to diversify my like reading. So yeah, whatever it is. Y'all, this book took me on a roller coaster. Okay, it took me on a roller coaster in like a good way. I enjoyed every second of this book. Okay, it was literally just like so enjoyable to me. Especially when I'm reading books. I'm the type of person that I love, and it's not like all the time because I read dark romance and mafia romances, so it's not like you're gonna get the same characters in other books, you know. Sometimes it's gonna be like a weak, you know, female character, because, you know, that is the character. I love how Feyre is so confident and secure with herself. I love that in a female character. Like, hello, like, girl, stand up. Like, stand up. We ain't weak. But if I ever went through the things that she went through, oh girl, I would be over and done with. I loved Rhysand in this book. He's my husband. He's not your husband, he's mine. I called him first. So, but another thing that I loved is when like a villain gets vulnerable and talks about his feelings. I feel like we got a lot of that in this book, and he just like talked to Feyre, and they just had their moments, and the tension was there. I have nothing bad to say about this book. And Rhysand in chapter, I believe it was chapter 54. Let me go back. Let me go back, girl. If you have read chapter 54, you know. Chapter 54 and like 55. Overall, once again, 5 stars. Let's get into the 4 ebooks that I read. The next book that I read was Carnage by 𝚒𝚗𝚜𝚒𝚜. So I did go back to my roots a little bit. Dark romance. I literally love the Lord series, those books. Like, I'm obsessed, literally obsessed. Chantel, you know how to write a book, girl. You know how to write a book, because I was invested, but at the same time, it was like a whole world too. I feel like all of her books are like connected in some way. I'm missing a series that it was connected to this book as well, so I have to go back. Well, I don't have to, but I really want to go back so I can get the whole world. But I highly recommend, if you're gonna read Carnage, read the Lord series and the Dark Kingdom series of her. That's the series that I didn't read. That there's a crossover in Carnage, and I missed that, so I'm gonna go read Dark Kingdom series by her and then do a reread of Carnage. So I gave Carnage 5 stars. Saint and Ashton, oh my god, you guys, if you don't like straight filth in a book, I don't think this book is for you. If you don't know about the Spade brothers, Saint, Castian, and Hayden, girl, you better get onto them. The book was a lot, like I said, because there was another series involved with it, but I don't really think that was like the main thing. You have to once again pay attention in that book. And I read it on my Kindle app on my phone, because I was reading it on my phone. I had to, like, you know, slow it down a little bit. There were 2 parts to Carnage, and part 1, you're going, before you get to part 2 and you read part 1, you're gonna have to sit down and take a break, drink some water, eat something, because part 2, that's where it gets intense. I'm spacing out, you guys. But no, Chantel's book, girl, just know if you're gonna go into them, they're a whole world. Basically, Ashton runs away from her like Lord, you know, like Spade brother, and the whole book is just basically like Saint trying to find Ashton. Definitely check the trigger warnings. I don't check them because I'm not affected by anything, but I tell myself, and I know a lot of people who read in this genre say it as well, but the more trigger warnings, the better. I'm honest here. I don't lie. When I tell you guys this was how I was reading, I was like this. Let me read that again. I also felt like, because I'm in her Facebook group, because I love her books, so I want to be in her Facebook group, but I was seeing like some posts that said that Ashton was like a weaker female character. I guess you can say that about Ashton, because I did feel like she was a, you know, weaker character. And when I say, I don't want to say like weak, because she does go through a lot in this book. Once again, I gave Carnage 5 stars. The next book that I read was Pretty Monster by Sheridan Ann. This book, I gave this book a 3.75. I just wanted to read this book like out on a whim, because I saw it. I'm the type of person that if I see a quote from something, I immediately download that book and I'm like, we're gonna read this because I saw the quote, and one little quote will define the whole book for me. So I saw like a quote or whatever it was, and I downloaded the book immediately and I read it. If you love, this is like a stalker romance, but in Pretty Monster it was like it is multiple POVs. The reason that I gave it 3.75 was because I already like found out the plot and who the stalker was. I feel like you can tell early on, but again, it's multiple POVs between like 3 different guys, because Kaya is the female, I think that's how her name is said. Kaya works at she's a tattoo artist. She does a lot of tattoos and she has like a lot of tattoos, and she's, you know, working on people all the time, so she's around guys. And yeah, and the stalker at the beginning of the book is like, I need somebody else. He finds Kaya, and the book basically takes off from there. I still enjoyed it. There were some parts where I was like, this is messed up. Just know, I don't want to sound dumb, because I know all these books, I never want that to happen in real life. Oh hell no. I know there are some people who are out there like, oh my god, like this is so cute. Like, I really wish I had like a 𝚒𝚗𝚜𝚒𝚜 in real life. Huh? Because if I had a 𝚒𝚗𝚜𝚒𝚜 in real life, babe, you see my whole room? Y'all can't even see my whole room, but my bed and my dresser would be at the police station, right next to the officer's desk. I do not want any of this to happen in real life. Absolutely not. So obviously it's just a book. Keep it in a book, babe. But no, this book was, Pretty Monster was multiple POVs, and I was like, what is happening? But at the same time, I was like, okay. I found it to be a fast-paced book. I feel like there was, I want to say, a lot of plot twists, but all of the male characters were like individually their own, and they had their own POV, so it was interesting to read about them because they were involved in Kaya's, you know, life. But once again, if you loved Haunting Adeline, you would probably love Pretty Monster. On to the next. The next book that I read was called Enthralled by Tiffany Roberts. After reading Ice Planet Barbarians, if you know what that is, yeah, I read those books like as a palette, maybe like a filler, like palette cleanser book, because then they're not really long, but they kind of are, you know, they're books. I kind of been as well reading alien romances. Enthralled is an alien romance. As you can probably tell by the cover, it's like a spider. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Every time I explain it, it's so weird, but it's literally not that serious. I know people are gonna be like, Jaylene, what the frick are you reading? It was interesting, okay? It was interesting. I read the first book. This is the second book, by the way. I read the first book. I forgot when I read the first book, but it left on a cliffhanger, and I cannot do cliffhangers, so I immediately had to start the second book. So again, Enthralled was the second book. Read it this month. I gave Enthralled 4 stars. The series is called the Spider's Mate series by Tiffany Roberts. The story, basically, it's Ivy and 𝚒𝚒. Ivy is human, and 𝚒𝚒, I think I'm saying his name right. 𝚒𝚒 is the spider. Like, they don't really, he doesn't like being called the spider in the book, but like a Vree, you know, like V, like a Vree, like, I don't know, like a Vree alien. Oh my god, I'm explaining this so bad. I literally am. He's like a Vree. But the first book left on a cliffhanger, so I had to immediately read this one. And the second book was, it was good, because at the end of the first book, they were finding other people, and they basically had to take care of these other people, and that leads to the second book, and that's what they did basically the whole book. But like 𝚒𝚒's queen, because you know, basically the queen wants 𝚒𝚒, and 𝚒𝚒 is like, no boundaries, but like the queen is like, she wants him, she wants to mate with him, and 𝚒𝚒 doesn't want that because he doesn't like her. He loves Ivy, okay? But no, I find that to be interesting. You know, you can write about literally anything and it could be so cool. I found the books to be absolutely so cool. Like, imagine people literally write books. Like, if you have read Ice Planet Barbarians, that's literally like a blue alien. Okay, I read it, I loved it. The second book was amazing, but then the second book ended on another cliffhanger, so I'm gonna have to read the third book another time. If you love a good alien romance, I say go for it. On to the last book, you guys, and this one was what I read recently. The last ebook that I read was Sicko by, I don't know if I'm gonna say the author's name wrong, Amo Jones. I gave Sicko by Amo Jones 5 stars. I feel like I start with every book, this book, y'all, this book, but no, this book, it's like, oh god, it's like a foster brother, foster sister romance. Before y'all, while I was reading the book, I was like thinking that like they're kind of like, you know, sister and brother, like but I give it 5 stars. It was good. When I read foster brother and foster sister, I was like, did this book question my morals? Yes it did. The main characters, the male one is, his name is Royce, and then the female character, her name is Jade. Basically something happens with Royce and all of the brothers, and they have to like, I feel like I read this book so fast. They had something going on and they had to like disappear or like go somewhere else. Something was happening to like protect Jade. So Royce leaves and Jade just like goes through a lot. That girl goes through a lot. Definitely trigger warnings with this book as well. And the plot, it was just like plot after plot in this book. Like I was like, oh, okay. Oh, it was like the next page. Like, oh, it was like plot after plot. I was like, what is going on? It was somebody at the end that I did not expect. I was literally like, because when you trust somebody and then it comes to being somebody bad. But no, that's what happened in this book. By the way, this is like a motorcycle club romance too. When I tell you I don't pay attention to the genres, I just read the book. That was the last book I read and it was intense. It was crazy. So once again, that book was 5 stars. After reading this book too, I need to read more motorcycle club romances because that was interesting. I loved it because it was like a whole family. Y'all made it. Are y'all here with me? Whew, it's hot in here. It's hot. Let me zoom in because now I gotta sit back. My back is she breaking. If you made it this far, you guys, thank you so much, and thank you for the love on my last video. If you are subscribing, it means a lot to me. I really appreciate it, and the comments that I've been getting on my last video were so nice and so sweet. That was my whole November wrap up. 7 books once again. Let me know what books you guys read for the month of November. I love to hear what other people are reading and just like compare. It's so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time because I'm doing like another video and I've never done this type of video before. It might be a struggle, but it's gonna be fun. I will see you guys next time. Bye.